Welcome to a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda.
Good morning. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the May 29th, 2013 Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting. Commissioner Williams has our dog today.
Well, we have a happy little guy here, 2 years old. It's a King Charles breed, and dog's going to be available for adoption on Saturday. Now, if you don't want royalty in your family, we have a lot of other pups and dogs. 28 of them at the kennel. Please come down, take a look, and find your new friend forever.
Only a couple more days left for the amnesty program. If you haven't gotten your dog license, please come down and get one. If you won't pay the penalty.
Madam Clerk,
Under Resolutions Number 1, Job and Family Services Bills.
so moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Investments.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Appropriations.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
No advances, no repayments, requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Travel.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Bills.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Under the Commissioners, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
Mr. Cordez?
Thank you, Commissioner. I do need to have an executive session. I don't have any potential hires or applicants to look over for you, but I do want to discuss the labor negotiations that are ongoing at the county home, specifically in regard to the last fact finder report, an update on what's happened there, and also possibly other labor negotiations that are ongoing. That topic is allowable under the Sunshine Law for executive session discussions, so I would ask that we go into executive sessions at conclusion of regular board meeting to discuss that one item, but let me also modify that to a second item. There's a matter of litigation that I also need to update you on with regard to federal court. Thank you.
Approve and waive the reading in the County Commissioners meeting minutes of May 22nd.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Under Community Development, support annual comprehensive economic development strategy update for 2013 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kalo.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Published the second public hearing notice to be held on June 12th at 9:45 a.m. for the CDBG FY13 Community Development Allocation Grant Program application.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kayla.
Aye.
Ms. Kowski.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Under Job and Family, authorized purchase service agreement with Centas Corporation to provide a mat rental service in the amount not to exceed $82.97 biweekly, effective July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2017, which each year a maximum increase of 5%. Authorized director to execute on behalf of the board with prosecutor's approval as to form and amend for changes in programming content and increased value.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Under the Visitors Bureau, amend Resolution 83-429, adopted April 29, 1983, to include lodging tax in establishments that contain fewer than 5 rooms used for accommodation of guests.
Any comments from the Visitors Bureau, or good as submitted? Board?
I do have one question. You also included nonprofits like assisted living. If somebody were going to visit one of their elderly relatives that may be sick and coming in for something like that, you're also wanting to tax that type of business establishment?
What we have are, the list that we provided you are all of the lodging establishments that promote lodging to travelers, not necessarily for nonprofit purposes, but just for purposes of travel. We have several that promote to the general public, not just to families that are visiting.
Do we want to include nonprofits in that? Is that,
It's, I mean, we included everything, just that any facility that promotes lodging to the general public for travel and tourism purposes.
Yeah.
That's
so all nonprofits do promote their,
not all non-profits, but there are non-profit facilities that promote bed and breakfast type lodging when there are certain events like Oberlin College commencement. So I don't know if anybody from the lodging industry would like
What
to
would
speak.
be, like Wesleyan Village, what would be the use of their, I know they have a few rooms that you mentioned. What, would their use be more for folks coming to maybe stay overnight to tend to a elderly parent's need?
Wesleyan Village, I can't really speak to. These are, this list was generated from calls asking if there are facilities available for travel and tourism purposes, if somebody.
Yeah, and I'm
wanted to-
sorry, I meant to get with you yesterday, but the week was short, so we didn't have a
Yeah, I
chance to converse. So
understand.
I don't want you to feel like you're a little ambushed here. Because I was a little surprised to see those on the list, but I wanted to move forward. We've only been talking about this for 3 years, so.
Yeah, I understand.
So I did see that, and I didn't have a chance to call over to Wesleyan Village and ask them what they use those rooms for.
Right. Wesleyan Village is one that I can't speak to specifically. I know Kendall and Oberlin promote some of their facilities during commencement. Sometimes they have speakers that come in from Oberlin College and that don't stay in local, they stay at Kendall. Independence Village, some of these places, they're all actually members of the Visitors Bureau, so they do want to take advantage of promoting to tourists.
Are they charging them a nightly stay then?
Yes.
Okay.
For instance, we have a rack card in our visitor center from Independence Village in Avon Lake that promotes stay and play package to people who are coming to visit attractions, not necessarily to visit someone in the facility, but they promote their private chefs and more luxury facilities, so they tend to cater to a more upscale consumer than perhaps maybe some of our hotels.
Right. And if there's a parent that was coming, or a child that was coming in to visit a parent, if they didn't charge them to stay at the room, there would be no tax. So.
They didn't, right.
Right, so I mean, there's a way around it. It's not for individuals who are coming in to see a parent. I don't think they would actually charge them for a room for that. And then we spoke on other issues. You're basically following other counties too, that are kind of
Yes.
more aggressive
Yes.
in their bed tax and have been doing this for a decade or more, correct?
Exactly.
Erie County's the only one that hasn't, correct?
Right. One thing to note about this is that our lodging profile has changed quite a bit in probably the past 10 years. We've moved from having just a bed and breakfast facility to having dozens of those types of facilities, cabins, lake houses, and being a lakeshore community, this, Ashtabula, Lake County, Ottawa County, they all moved to this because we have so many of these facilities. It's growing where our hotels are in some ways shrinking. A lot of hotel proprietors are actually taking rooms out of service in Lorain County, where some of these other people are, they're growing. More businesses are opening, they're joining our membership. And it's put us in a position where we promote everyone equally, but when we're sending people to some of these under 5 rooms, it's actually pulling from our funding source. So it's a little bit of a, I guess all we wanted to do is make it equal across the board for all facilities that are promoting to tourists.
Any other questions, board?
Couple things for the board. Obviously, it's our obligation to notify those identified facilities, so we need to do that. And of course, we collect the bed tax, and then we disperse the bed tax. So we can only notify those people that we're aware of. So that's why I asked Barb for a list last week when I was looking at this. So if you're aware of anything that's not on that list, please let us know so we can get the letters out. But we don't have any ability to police this. So we'll send the letters, and hopefully there'll be compliance because it can be ordered at some future date. So we'll take care of that in the next few weeks if you pass a resolution today.
And Barb, just so people know, the Visitors Bureau, you also do promotion of the county. You try to bring in attractions like Tough Mudder came in the one year. I know we're working on another project to try to bring in another similar event here to Lorain County, but it does bring economic development, and you utilize the bed tax to, for your costs, correct?
Absolutely. Any further revenue we would see from this change would go directly into our marketing budget
Right.
to promote those properties. And we would like to work with you to invite all of these properties perhaps to come to our facility, meet with your budget office to go through, and then they can see, the ones who aren't currently members, they can see how we spend our money, how we operate, they can see our marketing and our strategic plan to see that this is all going to promote their businesses.
You're certainly a
Sounds like an
lean,
outreach.
well, they're certainly a lean organization.
They are.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, any other question? You make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Any further discussion? Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Barb. Thanks, board. Missy, I hope you enjoyed your commissioners meeting.
You want to introduce your board members?
We have 3 board members that are representing lodging facilities, and I'll let you introduce them, I'll let them introduce themselves in
Okay.
the business.
Hi.
Hi, Melissa Timko from 5 Corners Bed and Breakfast in Amherst.
Kirin Patel, Country Inn Suites.
Thank you.
Rex Engle, Oberlin Inn.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
Great
Thank you
to
for
be here.
serving
Thank
on the
you.
board.
Right.
Thank you.
And I just want to mention that Missy Timko just opened a new business in Amherst called Sandstone Suites, and her opening was last week.
Oh, congratulations.
Where is that located at? Why don't you get yourself a plug?
We're right in historic downtown Amherst. The suite is actually in a separate facility. It's more for vacation rental type lodging. So we're looking for people that are in for a length of stay to take advantage of the lake and everything the county has to offer.
Thank you very much.
And where's it located?
It is in the old Eagles building, right
Okay.
at the 5 Points in downtown.
All right, so
Amherst.
where your deli used to be.
Correct, right above it,
And,
yes.
Yeah, you're
Yep.
working with
Paul.
Paul Byber.
Paul
on that.
Byers, yes.
Yeah, I'm referring to him as Mr. Amherst anymore with all the work he's doing.
He is. There's a pizza shop going in. They're supposed to open sometime this week. A graphic designer, BCT Security, has also moved into the building. So it's going to become a hot spot for Amherst.
All right.
So we're excited.
Good news. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Under the engineer, approved contract modification number 1 to Carville Paving Stowe in the amount of $80,186.52 for Island Road Project in Eaton Township to be paid from the engineer projects account. Modification is required based on final quantities and approved change orders.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Mr. Cortez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioners, I do have one pressing issue this morning that I need to bring from the floor with regard to soil and water. We're at a crunch time with regard to being able to match funding. I don't think that we've been successful in our position that we put forward a few weeks ago with regard to local matching funding with some of our political subdivisions as collaborators. And we still may be able to pursue that, but right now we need to talk about the potential with stormwater and some things to do with the rent out there. And I asked Mr. Bourne to be here today. I thought I saw him earlier.
Yes.
Hi, John. So maybe you want to take it from there, John, and we can kind of have an interactive dialogue.
Good morning. John Bourne, Henrietta Township, Soil and Water Conservation District Chairman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You need money.
Well, that, and I need to get back to the field. It's time
Okay.
to, but this business is pretty important to us here.
Okay.
And we've asked for, I think a budget originally was $106,000 to hopefully expand our services, but we need to hire a full-time employee to do engineering and survey work, and that can't be done till the county gets in pretty good shape. And right now, we know that the condition you guys are in, and we're right there with you. But we've talked a little bit about the rent that we pay back to commissioners, which is pretty close to $22,000. And if we got that much, that would net us a state match of about $19,000. And the $22,000 go back to you. Then there was some other talk when you went to the township trustees. There's kind of a negative reaction there, I think. Is that right, Jim?
Well, it wasn't overwhelmingly supportive.
Okay, let's put it that way. But I did talk to the trustees in Henrietta Township, and they're willing to support it some way, but their budget is a calendar year budget, and they don't have it in their budget for this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the commissioners were willing to match dollar for dollar up to $9,000, which, would sure help too.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that we've got a negative reply as of yet. I don't know.
Let me
that
suggest this. We've talked individually with some of the larger townships,
Okay.
and I'll leave it that there wasn't a groundswell of support.
Tom, you were at the meeting.
And
What
Tom, you
happened?
were more at the meeting, but I've talked to them on the sidelines.
Yeah, well, I talked to them on the sides. At the meeting, they were questioning it, and I think John brings up a good point, too. They're on a calendar budget, so to kind of bring this out to them in late May,
Yeah.
the response here, things can be negative. But there are certain townships that don't utilize the service that, kind of looking at, well, why do we need to pay for it? So.
That's.
Again,
that's
I tried to use
we're,
a
we're,
positive.
we're the same attitude.
I tried to use a positive. There wasn't. There was some that were, but and I will say that some of them were the larger townships that we would need to bring some strong economics to the collaboration. But we had the issue. I spoke with John yesterday, and we had the issue of the rent reimbursement and the match, and I think that. We never really decided on a figure yesterday that you needed to at least get to the first step of this process.
Well, they'll match the first 15,000. They match 1-to-1. The rest of it, they say 65%, but last year was 85 or 90%. So we did pretty well, and that money comes from tipping fees from the landfill we have over in Oberlin, so we get some of our money back. But they don't know what the budget is until June 1st, and then that changes too. Is that if the tipping fees increase, we also our percentage will increase a little bit. We get a little more money, and they pay us quarterly.
And let me remind the board that we can't use it in kind. So, doing rent forgiveness doesn't do anything in this process. It has to be a
Cash infusion.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a cash infusion.
Yes, it has to be an actual cash transfer, and when we were in big trouble, we discontinued paying rent because we couldn't afford it. And then last year we were able to pay our rent in arrears, and that we did real well last year. And
So right now, 22,000, or do we need more than?
well,
22 to
we
get
could
there?
use more. What we're trying to do is figure out a way to hire a full-time employee, which is probably going to take 30 to 40,000 plus benefits. And we need an engineer on staff and a
What was
surveyor.
how long have you been paying $22,000 for your rent?
A long time.
It's done by Maximus.
Yeah, we
Same
don't,
people do all our buildings. We don't figure it out, Tom.
It's been
the same amount for.
same amount for as long as I've been on the board, about 9 years, and it's been the same.
We do have the maximum study. There hasn't been a real square footage change
To Lorain County anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so 22,000, and you were talking to me before the meeting about possibly getting the $9,000 that we would do for the match, getting it this year, to bring it up to the 31,000.
If you did, I don't know the attitude of trustees. I know a few of them, but not
Right.
very many. But maybe, if you put your money up front, that might encourage them to do something. What will happen if they will come and start matching you, that money will get matched statewide next year. So anything we collect from after June 1st goes in a fund that we get match on next June in 2014.
Would you be willing to go to the Township Association and actually talk to them about the, what you do, the benefits for everyone, and just kind of maybe get more support that way if you're actually talking to them?
We've talked to quite a few of the townships, and actually we had, I think, 6 or 7 a couple of years ago that did support us.
Okay. But
And-
maybe if you went to the Township Association meeting as well, and that,
John, you had 6 or 7 who actually gave you cash infusions?
A few years back, yeah, when we were in a lot of trouble, when we had actually paid staff that was full-time, we had to do something, and we were offering a service that they couldn't get anyplace else. But now, with the way the stormwater program has changed now, what we were doing for them is probably going to be done now with the Stormwater Committee. So that's not a issue anymore with them. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of townships would support us, and I'd be willing to go and talk with them. I'd actually go to each individual township meeting and talk with them,
okay.
because you get a little bit better feedback rather than a big group sometimes. And that's what we did before. We went from one township meeting to the other.
I can tell you that Stormwater's been an excellent collaborator with the Stormwater District, and participation on the Stormwater Advisory Committee, and we also do the permitting process together.
Yeah,
and a couple
yeah,
of
we
things.
take
So
attempts.
I want to point out the things that we take advantage of.
So what are we looking at, Board? The
22 plus the 9?
22
31?
plus the 9, yeah. I would support that.
My responsibility would be then to go to talk to the individual townships and see what kind of support we can glean from them. We've
You
also,
make some money on farming also. Does that go towards your match also?
the money I make on farming,
No, not yours, but soil and water. They have,
well, that's not match money.
that's not match money.
No, it has to come from a political entity such as the commissioners or township trustees.
Well,
That's
what if
Well,
we,
what
what
if we
if,
took the revenue
And then
used
gave it
as
to
match
you?
and gave it back to you? We had that discussion a
Yeah,
year ago.
why don't you let me let the contract for the farmland, because we farm all that land at the airport, and then we'll just reimburse you.
And that gives you a higher match.
right?
That's right, and I think it might be an idea to follow through with, and then those contracts run a calendar year, don't they?
Pretty much. We just had an accelerator. We're in the 4th year. We did the 3. We accelerated for the 4th, and we have a year left on that. But I thought yours expired this year.
It did, and we rebid it, and it's been bid out again. I think it's 5 years.
Have you
But we
awarded
can.
the bid yet?
Oh,
we
you
can-
have?
Oh, yeah, it's planted.
Well, that's okay.
That's all right.
We can
Take it
transfer
over?
that contract.
That's something to
What's
look
the
at.
revenue from that contract?
How much?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's $100 and some an acre.
All right.
And I remember how many acres are there.
That might be another way to double up on your,
Yeah, we could double up or double down on ice.
Well, we may be able to do that pretty quick for you. What we got to do is a successor contract. We need to do it before June 1st. We can just change
Well, if I was you, I'd do it at the end of the year.
Well, if you're looking at getting the matching
Money
dollars
before
this
June
year,
1.
Yeah, it's going to be really tight.
you think you could do it, Jim?
Sure, I just contact the landowner and tell them we're taking over the contract. It's the county's land.
Right.
John, do you have any objections to that?
I
Why
don't.
would John
Okay.
care?
Well, I'm just asking.
Well, see, I have to check and see what the amount that we're paying for the farm, or is getting paid for that. And that's direct money in, but there's no match to
Right,
go
that'd
with
be a
it.
pass-through, the county would make it, we'd become successors to the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that brought in, we would give to you
Right, and
as the political subdivisions.
then we
money
get
that
match
you
on
would
it.
match with the state.
Yeah.
I realize you gotta trust these three people to do that.
Well, I have confidence in my
Thank you.
commissioners because
You, John?
they were trying really hard, I tell you
John,
that.
can you call whoever would be in charge of that and get us the revenue number?
Right
You go ahead
now,
and take a break. I mean, we've got to finish
No,
up. We've got executive session. We can come back out. You give us the number. We make a phone call to the landowner saying we're going to take the contract, and then
They-
we can appropriate those dollars today.
You could get
Well, we could do-
40,000 or 45,000 today, because the part of it will be coming in on the
Revenue.
farming contract, unless you've collected the revenue from it already.
we've collected half of it.
Well, then maybe we can do the other half,
The
and
other half.
we'll just tell them to send us the check, we'll set up an account.
Yeah, but that won't happen because the balance is due at harvest time. See, that's the problem with that one.
Well, we can
Well-
do in advance to the amount that we have coming in, John.
Right.
Yeah,
We don't need the money in hand. We
I
just
see.
need
The
to know we're
contract.
going to get it.
we got a
Okay.
lot of reimbursables on the book, we do a lot of
Right.
this.
So, I mean, we can do what, the 31 plus whatever Jim negotiates with them.
Well, whatever the second half payment on the
The
contract.
contract
Right.
says.
And
can't
that'll help go
negotiate.
towards that full-time person that you need to hire.
Yeah.
So you'll get that, and then you'll double it, because the potential for matching on what you're not matching now is there, so that could really help out. I don't know why we didn't think of this before, because we talked about the farming contract.
We did this last year.
Yeah,
talked
and
about it,
you know,
nothing
you
happened.
talked about taking over, and then whoever called us back said, no, you guys go ahead and do it, so.
Hopefully, we can make that happen this year.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
we'll
I'm
take
sure
In a
we
some
day,
motion, hang on.
in one day.
I'm positive we can.
Okay.
We just need to know the revenue number for
Right.
the
So
second
we can
half.
do it advance.
So
Whenever
here-
the payment, when the payment comes in is not actually germane right now, it's just how much it is, so that you can pass an appropriation today.
Right,
and allocate
including
that
X
fund.
amount.
Because I'll just contact the person that has the contract and tell them to send payments to the county from now
Right.
on. It's not an issue, it's your land.
So we don't want to do the dollar amount as of yet until we find out that
No, here
number,
we go.
so
Hang on.
withdraw?
No, there you
I-
go. No,
No?
don't withdraw. I'm gonna amend the resolution to appropriate $31,000 to the OSU extension,
Plus,
plus whatever the receipts are from the contract on the farming revenue,
second half of the contract.
second half, Well, and then going forward.
Correct. Well, yes, that would be next year's issue.
Right.
This is
Yeah,
it's not extension, it's soil and water. You
I'm sorry.
you
Soil
misspoke
and
here.
water. Yeah, I'm
What did you
sorry.
say?
I said extension.
That's the issue.
That'll make them happy. 4-H will be jumping up and down.
Hey, Sandy, what's the rent on the farm? Yes. I'll have you the number in about 30 seconds. My
Perfect.
secretary is on the phone so that you have a better
Hopefully she's
idea.
giving you the right farm information, not the Bourne farm.
Right, that's negative.
But we can go forward with the motion while he
Yeah.
gets the number.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just,
That provides
Did you
additional
say-
leverage. It's
did
great.
you move?
Perfect.
Yeah, I
Sec-
made the motion.
Second.
Anything further? Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
I,
And that's in 2 payments? Okay, thanks. Bye. The second half will be $9,700 and some change.
Okay, so you got $40,700 coming to pay them.
And then, John, next year, we got almost 20,000 in there.
Right.
You may be able to get another 15 to 17,000 from the state on it.
Yeah, on the farm, we call that imaginative financing, which is about the only way you can stay alive at times.
Yeah, but, farmers are amazing. They never make any money, but they seem to stay in business, so.
Yeah, we live off our depreciation. Was for depreciation, we wouldn't be able to eat.
I'll get that over to you through the clerk pretty quick so that you can get it down to
Okay.
the state. Appreciate you coming.
Thank
down.
you. We just need the letter here either today or tomorrow so we can submit it to Columbus on Friday.
Okay.
Sandy will grab you on the way out, and we'll get it wherever you need it faxed, okay?
Will she hurt me?
No.
Okay.
no, she's very
No,
gentle.
come on.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, John. Commissioner, I have nothing else this morning. I'm sorry I had to bring that issue from the floor, but, you know, the timeliness of it was getting critical.
Well, if you wouldn't have, I would have, so, okay.
Mr. Ennis?
The only report I have is I didn't run anybody over while I was driving on the wrong side of the road.
Oh.
Welcome back,
Yeah,
Jerry.
welcome
Okay.
back.
Commissioners report.
Well, three of us attended the Deputy Steak Fry this past Friday. It was well attended. It was a nice event. Mr. Williams going around trying to give out Jello shots to everybody.
Oh, there were 5
I
shots.
know, I'm just teasing you. No, it was a really nice event. The other thing, we have an employee that works over at our collection center who's having a fundraiser for her daughter. She actually has passed away and leaving 2 young children behind. She was in and out of the hospital quite a bit the last few years, and her name is Tara Hand, Terra Hand. She's 40 years old, and she was battling a debilitating illness where there was no cure. It's going to be a spaghetti dinner, and it's going to be held at Amherst VFW on Sunday, June 16th from 1 to 5. Tickets are $12 each, so if you'd like to donate and help them out, our employee who's Doug and Jan Hand are the ones taking care of the children now. So if you have any questions or want tickets, you can call Sharon at 541-1900. So if you consider donating to that, it'd be very much appreciated. And that's it.
Yeah, nice steak fry. Hope everyone took time to celebrate Memorial Day and remember those we've lost. Also, condolences out to Deanna Hill's family, the former mayor of North Ridgeville and former community development employee, passed away this past weekend from cancer. End of my report.
Yeah. That was a busy week as far as Memorial Day, and that went out to the Lorain County Vietnam's Memorial, participated or watched that service. Went out to Kipton. They have a nice little Memorial Day service. Probably one of the best ones I see as far as getting the families involved, handing out pins, and that's just a great service. Only about total an hour long. That's with the parade, and that it's the Sunday before Memorial Day. If you ever get a chance to go out there, it's a great, again, a great program. The ladies do a wonderful job out there. One lady's been doing it for 40 years, so a lot of dedication there. Monday, spent the day at Amherst watching the parade. Didn't participate in it. I got to watch my kid go through, throw out candy, and it's funny watching the young baseball teams come out during the parades because you hear ready, aim, and then you know get ready to duck because you got about 30 lollipops coming at you. And it was one of the a very memorial or very fun parade. Amherst did a great job with the service, and again, just so many kids out there for baseball and softball. And for many, today is the last day of school. So just watch out for the kids out on their bikes. 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, they're not going to be going to school anymore. I know my kids are very excited about it. I'm so. That means they'll be up late, and I won't get that hour of quiet time anymore. So, but hope everyone enjoys their summer coming up. And again, please be safe. Make sure you look out for motorcycles and for kids as well. End of my report. I'm sorry. I had a note here. I've had complaints come in, and Jim, I'm going to bring this up to you and also to the board. While I was around this weekend, I had multiple county employees from Job and Family Services coming up to me. And they're reluctant to come out to bring this up, but they're making some claims that the inappropriate use of overtime for custodians over there, and also for contract services, retired employees coming back, working 3 months to 6 months when, they don't feel it's needed. Again, these are just allegations. I can't get them to come forward to talk about it.
Well, they're not allegations, they're fairly accurate.
Well, before you say they're accurate, because they're saying they're not needed.
Well, they're saying they're not needed, but that's why you have a management team
Yeah.
that makes the recommendations to you. So they may feel they're not needed, that's fine.
Well, they're saying that it's the same group of people that are coming over. They believe it is.
I have correspondence from Ms. Golsky clearly outlining the direction that was been taken with temporary employees so that we don't have to put on A, permanent staff that needs to be laid off and go through all the process of doing that, and B, we don't have to pay all the benefits levels. So it's a cost advantage, and it's only been on a temporary fill-in basis. And actually, those have been on our personnel summary
Well,
sheet.
they're coming in saying that the individuals are with the overtime. Again, certain individuals are getting the overtime, they're coming in, not providing the service that. I'm just bringing it up because.
Tom, our employees don't think the commissioners are needed, okay? So, there's always going to be that element. They certainly don't think you need an administrator, all right?
I've heard that before.
I know you have. I'm actually just trying to add a little levity.
I know.
The people that have been hired have filled in when we've been, had some shortages. And the last time we did this, I believe it was something to do with nursing administration or home administration. We have the correspondence from Mary Lou. Nothing with our Golden Acres. We have other services we provide through Job and Family Services. They were not to exceed 1,000 hours over the course of several months employees with no benefits. And then as far as overtime for custodians, sometimes it's less costly to provide overtime than it is to put on another body. And we don't do the custodial services over there. That comes out of the state funds for Job and Family Services.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know that there's a lot of employee, if it was just one employee bringing it up, but I've been getting hit with Job and Family Services issues from employees.
Did you get your name put over there? Is that why?
No, I could tell you why. I could tell you exactly why. They filed a notice to negotiate. So now
You're going to hear everything.
you're going to
Tom.
hear everything.
Well, yeah, this has been going on for a while, Jim. We've had talks about Job and Family Services for many issues. Normally it's with from the general public, but now I'm starting to get it from the employees. Again, when people bring stuff to me
Sure.
where they're concerned about waste, I want to bring it up to you. It's not something I could bring up in executive session. It doesn't fall under that. It's not discipline or anything, but I just want to make sure you're aware of that since you are
Sure.
dealing with the
I'll look
director.
the director does report to me, and I will look at the overtime issue with custodial. That's a bit of a new one, but I do know we occasionally work overtime because when you run the numbers, it's less costly than putting on an additional help, especially when you're in between people on vacations and things like that. We experienced significant overtime at our bridge operation, but we found it was less costly to pay the overtime in the long run than it was to have that extra bridge tender, because then sometimes we had somebody sitting idle because we had the shifts filled. With regard to bringing the employees back, we have correspondence from Mary Lou, and I'll remind you of that by sending it to you so you can take a look at her justification for that, because I did challenge that twice when she wanted to move in that direction. I always challenge it when I think it's ex-employees that are coming back, even temporary, for a reason. I want the justification to be clear because of the distaste that often the public finds. We are not double-dipping employees. We needed temporary solutions to an immediate problem, and we provided a very short-term solution. You will not see me supporting bringing employees back in a completely new hire role after they've retired from us.
Yeah. And I guess the issue that they're bringing up to me is also the employees that they are bringing back, the true qualifications of those individuals.
Is there anything they didn't challenge?
Disgruntled a bit?
Well, I don't think so, and I think that's one of the reasons that they are a little reluctant to come forward, is because they're worried that they're going to be targeted as a troublemaker in that. I think the people that I spoke with are generally concerned. They do see some waste in it, and they're just bringing it up They wanted somebody to look into it. If you take a look at it, Jim, you give me an answer.
Absolutely.
And when I see them, I can tell them exactly what's going on. It's kind of hard to go through and explain and justify why things are happening with the overtime and that, and who they're bringing back without actually having the answers. So.
Okay, well, on the temporary employees, you have that, the
I have that,
correspondence.
right, and we've talked about that.
Okay.
And I agree with you with as far as makes sense as far as with the overtime. Not to have to pay them not the overtime, not to have to pay them benefits and everything. I understand that. They're bringing them in, it's the same people that's coming in and the qualifications of those people, so. All right, end of my report.
Tuesday, June 4th at 10 o'clock, the TID will meet. Board correspondence?
Move the reading be waived.
Second?
Discussion. Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
Public comment?
Anyone wishing to address the board this morning?
Welcome
Hello,
back,
Mr.
David.
Ashenhorst.
Welcome back, David. Your absence has been actually keenly noted here.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'm trying to get it so somebody's here when I'm not.
I'll make a motion to go into executive session as outlined.
Second?
Mr. Kayla?
Aye.
Ms. Kowski?
Aye.
Mr. Williams?
Aye.
This has been a broadcast of the recent Lorain County Commissioners' General Meeting. Unless otherwise announced, meetings are held Wednesday morning at 9:30 at the Administration Building, 226 Middle Avenue, 4th floor, downtown Elyria. These are public meetings, and you are invited to attend. Agendas are posted prior to the meeting at www.loraincounty.us. Click on Departments to see the Commissioners page, then click on View Agenda for a printable copy of the agenda.